Hello, my name is Sam,
Hi, I'm Carrie.
and we're back.
Yes, we are.
Um, so, we're passionate about positively impacting marriages.
Yes.
We have a private practice where both of us do marriage counseling,
Yes.
individual practices, and we are wanting to do videos again to just kind of share stuff we learn.
Yes.
Right? I mean, I once said, not everyone needs to see a therapist, but everyone can benefit from what a therapist sees.
Yes.
So that's kind of just the goal, is to set up a regular time, because we often will have conversations.
Yep.
And in those conversations, like these like nuggets, these things that we learned as we're working with couples, like, man, we wish we had an opportunity to share those. So that's kind of what this is kind of dialoguing and documenting some of those.
Right. And we, a couple years ago when we were making videos, it was with our private practice Thrive at Home.
Right.
We also have marriage guides, which that's more of, it's an interactive way for us to share with you what we've learned, and it doesn't necessarily come with a counseling package. It's just us doing life and imparting that, sharing that with you guys. Yeah.
So, one of the topics that we wanted to talk about was boundaries.
Yes.
But you were sharing with me the other day something that you had gotten from Brene Brown.
Yes.
We love Brene Brown.
Yes.
And so why don't you just share just a few of those points, because it kind of...
Yeah, well, I was doing some training on some of her material, and part of that training was a 20-minute soul sessions that she did talking about trust. And we deal a lot with trust because we believe that trust is one of the foundational pillars in relationships.
That's right.
Trust must be good, must be strong. And it's constantly evolving. You're constantly building and growing trust.
Right.
And
in fact, we did a workshop on that, a rebuilding trust. That I think it's just I think every relationship, you gotta have trust.
Yes. And so there are little things you do that add to the trust, but then there are little things you do that feel like betrayals.
Right.
And that's also to yourself when you disappoint and let yourself down by not keeping your own personal trust, but then it's also within the relationship as well.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to my thing. So in trust, she came up with elements, or 7 elements or pieces that all go together to make trust, because I think when we say, well, I don't trust you anymore. It's so painful, and a lot of times the other person doesn't. Well, where do I start rebuilding? They don't know how. That's a big question. Well, how do you rebuild trust? Well, if all that's been said is, well, I just don't trust you, and you'll have to earn it. How do you do that? So.
Yeah, you talk about throwing a relationship off a cliff,
right?
Of instability, and I don't want to cut you off, but I think this is just came up. Was it's really awesome. We've been learning to say a part of me doesn't trust you anymore.
Yes.
So just separating out that not all of me doesn't trust you.
Yes.
But a part of me doesn't.
Part of me feels really, really hurt and betrayed and doesn't trust.
That can save a relationship.
Yes.
Right? Because when I say all of me doesn't trust, well, we're pretty much done.
Yeah.
And so anyway, keep going.
Yeah. So the 7 elements of trust go into an acronym, the word braving. And so those elements are, I'll run through them really quick, but boundaries.
Okay. That's what we're going to talk about.
Reliability. Right? Consistently producing over and over again. Accountability. Be where you say you're going to be. Do what you say you're going to do. Take out the trash when you say you're going to take out the trash. Those important things. The vault. So when you share vulnerabilities with each other, they stay with each other. The vault. Integrity. Right? Yeah. Who you are in private, who you are in person. There's not a change up going on. Non-judgmental. Right? We're always our own worst critics, but oftentimes that seeps out, and we can criticize and judge others before we hear the whole story or before we get the information. So being non-judgmental is an element of trust. And then also gracious. Okay. So thinking well and thinking positively of each other, giving them the benefit of the doubt. Yeah. Right? Oftentimes we're easier giving ourselves the benefit of the doubt, but don't always extend that to the other person, and that can damage trust.
Yeah.
So those are the elements.
Boundaries are something that are so tricky because I often hear in relationships people talk about boundaries. Mm-hmm. And clearly, boundaries are essential to a marriage.
Yes.
I mean, first off, what is a marriage to me without some limits? Like,
well, you're making promises to each other. That's a boundary and a covenant from the very, very beginning of marriage.
Right. Like a boundary that we're always going to work things out.
Yeah, we're going to take care of you when you're sick.
Right.
Yes.
That we are not going to be unfaithful.
Right.
Right. So this relationship just includes the two of us.
Yes.
And many other boundaries around, finances and,
how we conduct ourselves with our friends and
yep.
Yeah, parenting.
How you keep the house.
Yes.
Things like this. So all these areas, boundaries can come up. And I think when you start a relationship, hopefully, but not everyone, has taken the time to discuss those together. Mm-hmm. Okay? And to me, when I hear boundaries going wrong, okay, and frequently in session, when I'm starting to hear boundaries, it's typically as a result